Hello, in this video we will be talking about the spawner system that comes with the vehicles. So, first of all, let's go over what type of settings we have with the spawner. So let's find one of our spawners in this game here. So here we have a few spawners, and if we click on our spawners, it'll open up in our workspace here, and we can name this whatever we want. So for this one, just name it spawner. Doesn't really matter. But within our spawner, we have this spawner settings module. And this module is pretty important because it allows us to add some different settings for each spawner. So spawner settings that allow the vehicles allows us to define which types of vehicles we want to be allowed at this spawner. So for example, we want the drop ship from our ship system to be allowed and the speeder and tank from our vehicle system to be allowed here. However, say we just wanted players to be able to spawn speeders here. We could remove that and remove this, and now players can only spawn speeders at this spawn location. And if people want to make their own custom extensions, they can also access the spawner settings module to add more settings, but this is what comes with the system by default. We also have other extensions that I will showcase here. So let me just find them here. Yeah, there. So they're on the server here in Lettuce server in spawner extensions. So here's also we can disable different extensions. So for example, if we didn't want ships lock on weapons to work, you can come in here to add lock to ship and then change disabled to true. And then ships can no longer be locked onto, for example, but we'll leave that false. But if you ever want to disable one of your extensions, you can do that. So we allow for Game Pass locked vehicles. So to add a Game Pass lock to a vehicle, you need to add an attribute called Game Pass ID to that vehicle, and that will be a number attribute. And vehicles can be found in replicated storage asset vehicles. And say you want tanks to be Game Pass only, we'd add here a number attribute that says Game Pass ID. And say the ID is 100, and that's not a real Game Pass ID, but say it was, now our tank would be Game Pass restricted at all of our spawners. Let's delete that. Let's look at the next one. We can also group lock our vehicles. So say we want the tank to be group locked, we can add a number attribute called group ID and a number attribute called rank ID. And say we wanted players in group ID 100, rank ID 5, that rank and above can spawn tanks. So that's how you can add group restrictions to our vehicles. And this works for both the hover vehicles and ship system. And this extension here is just to allow our settings module, our spawner settings module within our spawners to be accessed. So that's all we have for the spawner settings. Like I said, the name of each spawner doesn't matter. And we'll just go over something else here real quick, actually. You'll notice that you'll be able to change your category of the spawners in the UI. So if you want to spawn a ship, you can go to the ships, spawn a ship. If you want to spawn a vehicle, come over to the vehicles and we can spawn a vehicle.